Ladies and gentlemen, Impact Wrestling Review. I'm here to break it down once again. In LAX, the Lucha Brothers, they did it again. What a phenomenal match that was. I loved every bit of it. I'm gonna hop into it. Matter of fact, we're gonna hop into the review right now. Feel free to hit the like button for your boy on this video if you love Impact Wrestling Reviews weekly. So, we started out with Willie Mack and Rich Swann versus OVE. Looks like I say all the time, starting out with the X Division, you're undefeated when you do that with Impact Wrestling. And this is, like I always say, the tag team division is basically made up of X Division wrestlers. So this is basically starting off with the X Division. And what we got here was a phenomenal tag team match. These guys, OVE, Rich Swann and Willie Mack, whatever combination you want to put of these guys, they have phenomenal chemistry. They got off to a fast start. That's what the X Division is all about. That's what the tag team division is all about as well. Fast starting this match. I enjoyed every bit of it. I loved Rich Swann's Rolling Thunder, and I liked OVE's version of the Fear Factor. They had a double stump tombstone. That's pretty much Pentagon and Phoenix's move, the double stump Fear Factor. I love their take on it with the double stump tombstone. And this was a phenomenal match. It would end as Rich Swann got the 450 for the win. Very high action paced, and it continues the story with Rich Swann and OVE and Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. We'll see how that all works out, excuse me. So this was a phenomenal match and phenomenal opener in the least. So I enjoyed it very much. Excuse me, what am I on today? So moving on, we would move on from there. We came up off the break and we came up on Pentagon and Phoenix. They were talking about the tag team match. For later on in the night, they said that they were going to bring the titles home. Said that LAX was lucky that Conan made them accept that match and that the titles were going home with the Lucha Brothers. So we move on and commentary. We got an update on the title match, and I said this last week. We got an update that the title match at Uncaged next week will be Johnny Impact versus Brian Cage versus Killer Kross versus Moose in a 4-way match. I said it last week. I said that, look, Killer Kross has got a pinfall victory over Johnny Impact. Moose has got a pinfall victory over Johnny Impact. So where I'm from, when you get a non-title pinfall over the champ, that means you're next in line. And that's grounds for a 4-way match, and that's exactly what we have. So moving on after that, we got Kiera Hogan with Jordan Grace in her corner versus Dark Alley and Su Yung in her corner. And I gotta say that there was nothing particularly wrong with this match. In fact, I liked how it opened. Kiera Hogan was on fire, no pun intended. She had, like I always say, she has this Seth Rollins effect. When she gets going, like there's like no other knockout that can get going with her. When she gets her comeback, when she gets a fast tag, when she's on fire in the match, like there's nothing like it in Impact as it pertains to the knockouts. So I like her and I like this match, but the Dark Alley storyline, it is just taking a bit too long for the story to get told out with Rosemary. They're dragging it out a bit too much. I can appreciate long storytelling, and that's what they're going for here, but it's just taking a wee bit too long for them to get to the point with Dark Alley. And these matches with Kiera Hogan and Jordan Grace, they're really good, but the stories are suffering because of it. So this was a good enough match. I enjoyed it very much. The ending to the match was pretty strange as Dark Alley went to the corner and Su Yung wasn't there. She went for the glove and she's just perplexed. And I'm like, just grab the glove. And she's perplexed. She's looking around, and then Kiera Hogan takes advantage and picks up the victory. Strange end to the match. I enjoyed the match overall. However, I wish that they would just go on with the storyline. However, so after that, we had Johnny Impact backstage. He was informed that the title match would be a fatal 4-way. Of course, he was upset about all of this. Cage was upset about all of it as well. He said that he would see Johnny Impact next week. that will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what route they go down with as for the winner of that match. I know what they need to do, but I'll save that for the preview that I'll have for Uncaged next week. So after that, they announced that it would be RVD and Sabu versus the Lucha Brothers in an Extreme Tag Team Dream matchup, and this is going to be phenomenal. It's going to go down at United We Stand in April, so I'm very much looking forward to this one. I don't know how much RVD or Sabu has left. I haven't seen them wrestle in ages, so it'll be interesting. I'm pretty sure the Lucha Brothers can carry them to a phenomenal matchup. And if it's Extreme Rules, that's even better. That'll work out even better for them. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a phenomenal matchup that everyone will be looking forward to. I will definitely be looking forward to it. So, after that, we had Dark Alley and we had Su Yung backstage. And we got a message from Rosemary. She said that the witching is upon us. And the storyline continues with Dark Alley and Rosemary and Su Yung. We'll see if we get a payoff anytime soon or if they will keep teasing it out. We shall see on that one. After that, we had Raju versus Trey of the Rascals. And I gotta say that, as I always say with the Desi Hit Squad, like there's just something missing with the Desi Hit Squad. And I've often said that they need to commence the beatdown on Gamasine to draw some real heel heat, and they just haven't done it yet. Gamasine's still there. I don't necessarily have a problem with the Desi Hit Squad. It's just that they are not that team yet, and I really feel like they need some kind of heel turn or something to get them there. The Rascals, on the other hand, it's like you got to have them on TV every single week, at least one of them. Every single week, because they are money in the ring. This match wasn't particularly bad. I'm not all that, as I said, I'm not all that interested in the Desi Hit Squad, but Trey is phenomenal in the ring. I thought it was a decent enough match. Trey would go on to pick up the victory with the double knees, and the Rascals would get another victory on the week. And the storyline continues with the Rascals, the Desi Hit Squad. Hopefully something breaks for them and they have some type of storyline to get us interested into the Desi Hit Squad. But at this moment, I'm just not that interested into the Desi Hit Squad. So after that, we got another hype package for Team AAA versus Team Impact next week for the World Cup. And that will be interesting. I'm very interested to see how that plays out. After that, we had Sami Callihan versus Puma King, and this was another matchup that I didn't have high hopes for, but it turned out being a really good match. And it reminds me of the Taya Valkyrie match last week. I was like, okay, this is not going to be much. And it turned out being a really good back and forth. And this was a really good back and forth that I was very interested in. And I got to say that it was a phenomenal match. They made Puma King look really good. He looked really viable. And I'm excited for the World Cup going forward, if these are the type of matches that we're going to get. So this was a phenomenal match. I think Sami Callihan spent too much of the match trying to get to Puma King's mask, but that's another story for another day. I thought it was a really good match and a lot of good back and forth here. And it goes to prove that Sami Callihan can just go with just about anybody. And Puma King is very athletic himself. I didn't know a whole lot about him, but he's very athletic. At the end of the day, Sami Callihan would pick up the win with the power driver. I very much enjoyed this match, and I'm very much looking forward to this World Cup. And look, plenty of matches to go on. Team AAA versus Team Impact is going to be really good. So after that, we got a phenomenal video package for the Knockouts title street fight coming up next week. Taya Valkyrie versus Tessa Blanchard. That should be a phenomenal match. Impact's video team does a phenomenal job yet again. So after that, we're keeping rolling here. Drake was with Eddie Edwards, and he talked about how he wanted the old Eddie Edwards back, not this hardcore street fight Eddie Edwards. And this storyline is decent enough. I'm not greatly interested in it, but it's decent enough. And does it lead to the old Eddie Edwards coming back? I'm not entirely sure, because Eddie Edwards is so far deep into this hardcore storyline to where it's just kind of become his thing now. That's Eddie Edwards now. Like, he's the hardcore Eddie Edwards. So I don't necessarily see the old Eddie Edwards coming back. So we'll see how this storyline goes going forward. After that, we had Killer Kross and Moose. They were with Melissa Santos, and she interviewed them about the 4-way match next week. Killer Kross ran down the opponents. Moose talked about how they could both be the tag team champions, the world champions. It didn't matter who got the win, and Killer Kross wasn't feeling that. He wasn't feeling the old "we can free bird the title." No. Killer Kross wasn't feeling none of that. So we'll have a 4-way match next week, and we'll see how that all turns out. I know who should win, but we'll see who will win at the end of the day. So after that, we had the main event, LAX versus the Lucha Brothers. And this got off to another fast start. Just like the first match got off to a fast start, this one got off to a hot, fast start as well. This was a ridiculous match, a great TV match. Not necessarily one of the matches you look at and say it is a match of the year like the first one was, but it was a phenomenal match. I love the Santana and Pentagon face-off. They got the crowd hyped up, several metal chants after the fast start that we got. And there was so many false finishes in this match. The Pentagon driver, that was a false finish where I thought the match was over. When LAX hit the street sweeper, at that time I was like, okay, this is gonna end right here, and it wasn't over. Then we had the Fear Factor, double stump Fear Factor, and Phoenix goes with a tope through the ropes, and I'm like, okay, that's it. And we get a kick out from that. So this was a phenomenal match. I like the first match more, but this one was really good as well. At the end of the day, the Lucha Brothers will pick up the victory again with the double stump Fear Factor. And after that, we got a tense handshake. And at this point, we better get a rematch. I'm very surprised, to be quite honest with you, because last week I said that it's the week before the pay-per-view. They're not going to end this one clean. And they ended it clean. And I guess we're not going to get LAX versus Lucha Bros at the pay-per-view next week. I'm not sure about that. We'll see. We should get it because it's a pay-per-view. Or maybe they wait until April for the United We Stand pay-per-view. We'll see. However it goes, look, I either want a 30-minute Iron Man match or a best of 5. Give me a best of 5 or a 30-minute Iron Man match with these guys. They will tear down the house. So that is it for the Impact Wrestling review. Let me know your thoughts. It was a phenomenal show. Action from start to finish. I don't like the flashback that we continue to have every week, but it is what it is. At least it was compounded with phenomenal action throughout the entire show. Let me know your thoughts on Impact Wrestling, the entire show. What did you think in the YouTube comments or on Twitter at OMGCoreyB or at 2SweetPOD.